Turn on the garage lights.
I've sent the request.
Hey guys, this is Dan with Gears and Gadgets. Thanks for tuning in. Today, we are going to be revisiting catalytic converter theft and skid plates to help prevent that from happening. I know if you're watching this channel, you've been around for a while, you saw me install the Talons garage skid plates. I think they're absolutely awesome, and I'm coming back here today to install, well, Talons garage skid plates. And you're thinking to yourself, why would you do it again? And the answer is they've actually revised the design recently to be much better than what it was previously. They did address some concerns people had with the power boost brackets and the gap that was created where people theoretically maybe could quick sawzall and subsequently maybe start getting to the cats, but I always thought it would still be quite a bit of a stretch for that. The other potential design issue with those brackets was that in an off-road setting, if you were to high center on that skid plate, those two brackets theoretically could be the weak point, and that is why they revised this design. So I'm gonna actually pull these ones off, reinstall these new ones, and go from there. Now this video is sponsored by Talons Garage. They sent these out to me. They are not paying me for any of this. I can say whatever I want. Matter of fact, they are just a small shop that makes these plates, and that is why I like to do these videos, because I do like to support kind of the small business shops, especially in some of these truck accessory markets where there are just some giant players out there. And I always like to throw a little bit to kind of the smaller guys who are doing absolutely awesome things. And I think Talons Garage is one of those.
Crystal and Sean Tyndall, as I mentioned, the owners of Talons Garage. And I'm pretty proud of them, what they've accomplished over the last year growing their business.
Now next week, I'm going to have a much more ambitious video to film with a complete suspension upgrade for the truck. I'll be tearing apart the entire front end, but again, that'll be coming next week. Still waiting on a few parts for that. So here is a bracket. This will be the front engine skid plate. This is still part of the front engine skid plate. This is the transfer case skid plate, which is a new piece. And this is supposedly the new and much improved transmission and cat plate. Man, that is a unit. This is the one-piece skid plate. Very pumped about this. I believe these are wings for additional cat protection. All right, let's pull the old one off. So if you're worried about people just being able to take this thing off in your driveway in a hurry, not gonna happen. Now I always like to lay out all of my parts and pieces. This is all the old hardware. Got a bunch of old stuff up here I gotta go through. I always forget that I bought these. So this is all of the hardware laid out, separated out into trays, pretty basic. Can I use this song in my video? You relinquish all rights forever. So here we are in the future. It's actually been about a week since I installed those skid plates, and that whole kit is absolutely awesome. I had to go out of town, so I had a little bit of a breakup here in the content, but I'm happy that I did, because there was one slight issue. When I would turn the wheel at a stop, I would hear some noise coming from under the truck. And it turned out that the skid plates, where the front plate overlaps the transmission / catalytic converter plate, there was just a little bit of movement there. I mean, the truck over the entire length is going to have some movement, and those pieces were basically rubbing against each other. So I did run out and buy some of this stretch and seal from Home Depot. It was a couple dollars. It's just a silicone tape to help prevent that from happening. And I also paid attention to the instructions, and I switched out from the factory spring clip that they have here that I did not swap out for the clip that they had included, which is this one here. So that, I believe, was causing part of the problem. So I pulled it apart yesterday, switched over to these clips here, and that problem went away. The only other issue, and I have reached out to Talons Garage, is that when you switch to this clip, the bolts they sent were just slightly too short. So a couple little minor adjustments they're gonna have to make in that kit, but this is an early release. I think it's actually the first one that I'm aware of that comes from Talons Garage. So they are going to make those changes in terms of hardware. Now here's my take on this stuff. When you start getting into customizing vehicles, especially with stuff like this coming from a smaller shop, if you're not willing to make some of these little adjustments, that's kind of all part of modding your vehicle. You might have to make a couple little tweaks here and there, but aside from that, pretty basic installation, and overall a absolute beast in terms of protection for the underside of the truck. So the other change they made, which I am completely thrilled with, I had no idea that they had done this. This plate here, this is for the front skid plate. So previously, on the kit that I installed before, they sent out a plate that you just had to through bolt, which worked okay. But the problem with that is when you need to go and change your oil filter, you're gonna have to pull off that front skid plate to really get up to that oil filter. And now with these nut certs, the way that they've put them on this bracket, now you can actually drop that front skid plate and get to the oil filter super easy. This was a change, again, not expecting it, but incredibly happy that they made that change. Now for anybody out there who is going to watch this video and leave that comment down below about just grabbing the shotgun and going whole hog in the driveway, just think about repercussions of doing such things. I don't think it's wrong. I think it's just not wise in terms of the legal battle that would come from that, most likely, potentially. And then the other potential of maybe it's not one guy, maybe there's a lookout, and it's not worth risking your life over any of this stuff. So the benefit that I see with these Talons Garage skid plates is that not only are you protecting your cats, but you're also getting an incredibly far more robust skid plate than what comes on these trucks standard. So if you're going to be doing any off-roading, by far, I mean, it has dual value there. So you're going to protect the cats, protect the underside of your truck. Really a win-win, and I think the product is absolutely awesome. Now coming later this week, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I do have a pretty ambitious install coming up with a complete suspension upgrade. So I have the front coilovers, upper control arms, rear shocks going on the truck as well, for a complete upgrade that I'm looking forward to getting that done, because it'll make the truck, in terms of look and function, that much better. I will link Talons Garage in the description down below. Go check them out. So again, thank you very much for tuning in. If this is your first time tuning in, please hit that subscribe button down below. Remember, likes go a long way to help support the channel. I will see you guys next time.